So, good afternoon, all of you. Today, we are starting with this again with the remix. Yesterday, we have started with the remix, and we have seen some of the tool icons, tool compiling mode, as well as how we can deploy and run the particular programs. We have also seen some of the one or two basic programs where how we can run this particular remix program, how we can write the program, as well as then how we can run the program. We have seen yesterday. So before I start, once again, I like to ask you people that is anybody have done this program, any one or two program yesterday or today? What we have discussed yesterday, one or two program. Anybody has done that of any of one or two programs of the Solidity on this remix platform? And how about the other concept like variables? Anybody try to do that variables declaration, anything similar? Because from now, actually, somewhat involvement from you also required, because as this is the programming part, until unless you will not do it, will not work out properly. So I just want to know if anybody has done this program or not. Start the further concepts of Solidity. So further, when we are starting with the Solidity, we have some more concepts. Yesterday, we have started with some of the concepts. Today, again, we will continue the further concepts of the Solidity. So here again, today I'm having one fresh system. Just I have this program. Let's create the new. So here again, when we are starting, we have the another program we can start with. And yesterday we have seen just how we can use the pragma, how we can give the version, which version we are using. Then further again, we have seen that how we can define the function and then how we can run the particular function. See the further. So first of all, as we have seen, just we need to have the pragma, then Solidity. Then again, we need to give here version. I was giving the version that was greater than 0.04 and less than 0.6.0. Then again, as this is a contract, so I need to have the contract. Contract name can be any contract name. So let's say I'm giving again new contract 2. So okay, you have run some simple program. That's great. So any problem you have received while doing this program? Any of the program? Any problem which you have faced? So it's pragma. We have the Solidity. We have the version greater than or equal to 0.0 and less than 0.6.0. So first of all, as they are defining the version, then we are writing the contract name, maybe new one. Then this is the contract. Inside the contract, we can have the variable, we can have the function, we can have this logical part, as how we have the loops, we have the like do loop, do while loop, we have the for loop, we have some like loops in the JavaScript. Similarly, here also we have the loop. Let's start from the variable. So we were discussing about this Solidity data types, different data types we have here, which we will use. And here, like we have the fixed type, which will having the fixed length, like Boolean is always will have the fixed length, uint will have the length, address will have the length, byte 32 will have the length, like address it can hold. Then again, variable size, there the size is not fixed. Let's say string, so string can be small, string can be larger. Bytes, there can be different number of bytes. Uint array means array, it is not specific to uint, it can be any kind of array, and it can have the variable size. It is kind of collections, like we can have the multiple values, like we can have the variable length of values. And here again, we have the mapping. Mapping is having the two things. One is key, one is pair. Key is unique, and the value can be duplicate. And again, the user defined things are there. We have the structure and enum. Let's say we are having this solidity. We can have the global variable. Yesterday, I told you that we have the global variable. We have the local variable, and it will be accessible in complete contract. So it will not be inside the particular function. So they are the state variables. State variables. Yesterday I told you the state variable. Let's say this is u int a. I'm having this 10. So this is a state variable. This is exactly inside the contract. Then further, what we can have is we can have the how we can use this state variable. We have one more thing here. One is the constructor. We have the constructor method. How we have this constructor in the other languages to allocate the memory. Same way here also we have, and I'm giving here the public constructor, and this is the body of the constructor. So here what we have this is a constructor and this is a public. And again, yesterday I told you what is public. Once again I can repeat this. So here Solidity got the access specifiers, access modifiers. One is public, private, internal, and external. So public, if it is a public access specifier, then it is accessible throughout the complete cycle. Like it will be within the self contract itself. Then again, it will be in the derived contract also. Then again, it is here in the external contract as well as in the external addresses. So public, any of the variable, public, method, any of the constructor as a public, it is accessible to all the places. Private, again, it is inside the contract itself. Internal, in the self contract, and it is the same concept kind of inheritance. How we have, like, it is having the main class and it is having it's a child class. So this is all here. Like we have this main contract and we have the child contract. It's a derived contract. So here internal is accessible to its same contract itself as well as the derived contract as well. Then again, we have the external, that is for the external resources, maybe the external contract and maybe the external address. So here what I'm doing is I'm using the constructor. Constructor is here in this contract and in the solidity. So constructor, we are simply, I can use this one. I can use here, like let's say currently I have this one and I can allocate some more. Let's say I'm using this. So what I'm doing is I'm just allocating the memory. Let's try compiling it. It's already compiled. As we know, I have set it as an auto compile mode. So it is already compiled successfully. The code is, and yeah, there's nothing inside, just a variable. Anyways, this is just now. I have not printed anything. I have not done anything. So it's simply like we have is how we can have the variable, and with the constructor we can allocate the memory. So here we have the variable. We can have, this is the state variable. Again, in case if I'm doing something here like the int p equal to 10. So this is what yesterday I told you, this is the global variable concept, but it is here we will not use, we will use in the function. So global variable we will be using, this state variables are there, and local variables are there. Local variable yesterday I told you within the function. It's not in the constructor. So here we can have one function, maybe the function name as maybe just print me. This is a function, and as I'm printing some values, so it just a public function, and view is to read the data, view is to get the data, or just to print. We are not doing any kind of modification with this particular function. So just it will have the returns, what kind of data it is returning. So maybe I'm returning uint. So here, this is the function. So yesterday also we have seen that how we can create the function. Just now what I've done is I've created one constructor, I have created one function. So function is having this one keyword, that is view. Means we can only see the help of this particular function. And again, this is public access specifier is there. Return, it is returning what kind of value it will return. As how we have in the method, we have the return type. So here also we have the return type. So return type I'm defining. How we can define the return type is this way. So I'm just given that this function will return the value as an uint, the value as an uint. Now this is a state variable within the constructor. We can have the local variable. Now here we can have local variable. let's say maybe I'm having this bool C equal to, maybe I'm giving here true. This is directly not. I'm using another one. I'm using 256 C equal to 10. This error. Here you can see the error, why it is giving the error. So function state multiplication. So this one is the local variable. This is, I can comment here. This is the local function. While we are taking this one, this is the one of the functions is accessible through a contract. So when we are working with the variable type, we have the state variable, but we have the local variable. One more type of variable which I have discussed yesterday, that is a global variable. Global variable, like this is here currently, like we have one variable name as A, one variable name is K. So this is our own variable, predefined. It's not predefined, it's user defined. We have some predefined variable which is having the fixed value. They are the global variable, means globally accepted to the Solidity. Yesterday I told you some are the global variables are there. Just here. This the global variable. So once again, I'll show you the state variable. Just now we have seen within the complete contract, it will be stored local. It is inside the function. It will be executing within the function. And then global variables are there. Global variable are a special variable. Let's say this block.coinbase, block.difficulty, block.gas limit. So these are the some different global variables you can see here. We can simply use this now. Try this now. This is unused. I can comment this. Okay. So if you see here, this now, this is one of the what we call as global variable. As we can see here in the slide, this is a direct variable. This will be printing the current block timestamp. Like we want to have the timestamp, it will print this one. So here, this is what we have. Once again, it is, as we know, it is compiled automatically, and we can try run it. We can delete this. We can deploy here. Here is the thing. Print me. Print me is the function which was, it is the view function. So here you can see this here, the timestamp. So timestamp, it is printing. So this is how it is printing, is with the help of the global variable. So there are different global variables are there, as depends on the requirement we will use. Like we can see all the variables are depend on to some of the message, some of the block. This was the direct one, so that's why I have used it here. But again, there are some more which we will be using as soon we will do the transaction. We can use this thing. So here we have three variable types. One is this state variable. One is the this one, the local variable, and one is the global variable. Here, just I'm giving this comment. Okay. So what it is? If it is not, if it is uncommented, then it will print the value of K. Okay. So here, this is what we have the. If we will uncomment it, then it will print the value of K as a 10. And right now I'm using this now. This is a global variable, predefined variable. We have not. So again, if further, if you want to use the further different global variable, it will come when we are using the block, when we are using this transaction, that time we will be using it. So I hope this is much clear. Someone can comment that the variable and this three different type, and what is the special this about the global variable? The global variable, it is having the fixed meaning and it is having the fixed output as per the requirement. Anybody is having the doubt in this particular variable, then please tell me so that I'll move to the another one. I hope so. I hope this is clear that we have the different variable and what we are working with the variable. So as depends on the requirement, we'll be requiring the variable and we will be using it. And meanwhile, parallel, if you want, you can try as well, because in case if there is any error, we can solve here itself. I hope this example is small, but very much clear that here what we are doing, we are creating the constructor, as well as we are creating the function, as well as here we are using the state variable, we are using the local variable, and as well as we are here we have the global variable as well. So 3 types of variable, one constructor and one function we are using it. In case if you want, you can note down or somewhere you can copy paste this particular program so that I'll give the next. I'll erase this program. I'll go to the next program. Let me try this. If it is able to print the block. No, it's not. Block hash. No, it's not. That's a keyword. Okay. So anyways, we will use the other one. Okay. So here, this is what we have when we are relating it to the variables. Let's move to the next function. As we have just given one function, so we have one is a view function. We can read the contract, but we cannot modify the contract storage. As simple as the method as getter. With the help of getter method, what we can do is we can get the value, we can read the value. Simply we'll get the button. Here what we are giving is print me. Simply we are getting the button. So this is the view, and as well as this is the getter method. So here with the help of view, what we will have is we can get the value. So if there is a view function, we can only just call the value. And here one of the fact is there, if a view function is called internally from another function, which is not a view function. Let's say if there is a function which is not a view function, but we want to utilize the value. Sometimes it happens that some function are returning some values. If that function we are not using as an external manner, means we are not seeing the output of that function, so it will not cause the gas here. Sorry, yeah, it is not the, it is sorry, it will cause the gas. But again, in the case of Ethereum, like in the case of Ethereum, it will cost like very less because it is not showing us the direct output. So it will still cause the gas, but it will be very less as compared to the some executable function. Again, we have one more function that is pure function that cannot be like we cannot read and we cannot modify the contract storage. They are the pure function. So simply when we are using the mathematics like cryptography functions, cryptography operations, that time we'll be using this pure function. So when we are using the cryptography function, so just I have this. Yeah, cryptography function, as yesterday we said that there are some predefined functions which are using for the computation of hash, computation of this different kind of hash. So when we are using this fixed arithmetic thing, here just read the last line. Pure function can neither be read or nor modify the contract storage. They are used for pure computation. Let's say we are doing some operator work, or we are using some cryptographic operation. And we'll be using the pure function. It is nothing related to the view. Means we are not modifying as well, but we are using some mathematics. We are using some cryptographic operation. So let's see one of the example with this. We can try any of the functions. Let's start. Let's try the hash. So again, the pragma, solidity, the version. I'm taking here 0.4.0 and less than 0.6.0. As this is the contract. So again, I'm trying this hash demo. So the contract is open. Then again, further now the requirement is what I want to do is one is I want to use this cryptographic function, the hash function, and the another thing is I want to use the view. So here let's see. So we'll simply write the function name, maybe return the value hash f. Let's give this name. So One is I can give here, other is I can call the function. So I can call this function, that's this KECC, maybe this hash. What is the hash function is SHA-256. Okay, so SHA-256, and I'm just calling it. So this is public pure. This is pure mathematical operation. It is returns. You need to write the returns at the time of function, and return when we are returning the normal value. If you will see here, this one previous. So here you will see the return and returns. Return, we are returning the value within the function, and returns is what type of value it will return. Just remember this thing. Returns is the type of value you are returning, and this return is the when you are returning some value from the function. So this is return type, and this is exactly what we are returning. So don't get confused. Returns will be using within the same line of function, you can say, and return when we are returning the value. So here let's returns. So what it will return is, it will return as the address. So what you can do is, you can give this some bytes 32. You can give some variable, maybe some of like result, okay, res, and this is the function. So here we have created one pure function. So pure function, just I can return. So just return, only return SHA-256, and what I want to do is, I want to have the value. So just the value. So give the value. I want to print the hash of Vikalp. So I hope this program is, again, it's a small program, but again, it's an effective program, because what I'm using here is, I'm just creating the function, and it's not called here. I can give here like hash demo, hash d. This is a function name actually. Okay. Why I have given here, that is because I want to call, so maybe that function can relate. So here one function is created. It is having the pure type function. Pure type means it will be doing the mathematical operation, or it will be doing the cryptographic operation. So here, this is the direct function SHA. Let's try to run it. So as I can see, automatically it's compile. Again, if you want, you can compile it. You can go with this. You can deploy. Cannot convert and find out the object. What's wrong? Wait, let me try this. This. Okay. This is called hash. Once you try with this with your own, because once you try with your system, maybe it should work, because getting one error, that is cannot convert or undefined or null to the object. There is no null value actually, it's having the value. I'm having this value res. One second, just a Solidity version need to specify, because like one is, it will read all the files. What are the functions, supported function we will use, that need to be done. So in case if you are not specifying the version, let's say you are specifying only the lower version, so higher version files will not be taken. That is one. So of course, the version will include your functions as how the library files get imported in Java, it include in C++. A similar way, it get here also. So yeah, this is required. We need to specify. No, constructor will be here only. It will be like call here itself. With the help of constructor, we can create the object as this is object oriented. So if we are using any of the subcontract, any of the third like external contract, so with the help of the constructor, what we can do is we can create the object. Object creation is possible here. So we'll be using that one. Can I create several? Yes, you can create. You can create several, like how we have in the other. You can create. Just try once private constructor. We can create the private constructor. Yes, we have the low access specifier. So yes, you can create. You can try creating the private constructor. But yeah, one thing like as we have the other languages here, Solidity in the Solidity, like we can only create the public and internal. We cannot create the private because it need to use in the other. We can only have the private and we can only have the methods can be the private, but constructor, the private constructor as well as the external constructor, we cannot create in this. But the other language we can create, like in JavaScript and other we can create, but here we can. Call data till now we have not used, but we will use it when we are working with the external. Currently, we are not using because when we'll be using this external function, we'll be calling the external function. That time we'll be using the call data to call to have the addresses. So we'll be using that in the external function, not here. For now, as an thing, you can say that the call data, we have the function. When we are calling this external function, external parameters, that time we'll be using this call data. Specifically location, specifically array can be initialized same how we initialize in our JavaScript. Similar way, we can have the array here also. Let's say if we have here, let's say if this is the one, then we can have this u int. We can have this where let's say this is the maybe the size as 4. Then we can have this. This is the way how we can initialize the array. So this is the array, and this is how we can initialize it. This is we are specifying the size. This is we are not specifying the size. This is how we can initialize the particular array. How in the other languages we can declare, we can initialize simply in case if you want to declare, you can declare this way. This is a declaration, and this way we can initialize. This is without size, and this is with the size. But again, when we need to use it, we need to use it, then it will come into the picture. But for now, if we are talking about the array, this is a declaration, and the below is the initialization. We can. This is similar to other languages. So this is when we have the array. This is the declaration. And this one is the we need to use it properly. We'll see the separate program for this. So here for now, this is we have. So we were talking about the function. Here is the hash. Yeah, we are using the pure when we are working with this cryptographic function or operator function for viewing the data. Once you can try execute it in your system if it is executing or not. Execution of this function. Okay, fine. The difference between the int, all the sizes different. U and simple int. This is the unsigned int, and this is the signed int. The first difference, and it is again having this different values. With the different size range, the unsigned int is having one range. Unsigned int 8 is having one range, and unsigned int 256 is having one range. And again, this normal int 8 and int 256 is not the unsigned. It will not have the minus and plus values. It will only have the positive values. So that is one of the signed integer data. Is it clear? The signed and unsigned integer. How we have, like in the basics, we have this signed integer and unsigned integer. And one thing is here, that is like mostly we'll be using this unsigned int here, because the common phenomena here we use in the Solidity is unsigned int. But if you are sure about the values, you can use here, because sometimes gas go in the like our account get deduct. So that time we use this, because the values of the gas also go in the both the manner. So that's why we are using this u int. The values can also be this. So we are using this unsigned int. Is it clear? Unsigned int and int difference, u int and int. Then again the sizes are different. Okay, so there will be range. There will be range for this all. Ranges will be varying. Again, as how you are storing the mobile number, it will have the, like you need to have the uint and 256. Again, if there is a small value, you have to use that. So it will have the range. Because if you want to know the range, this is only the bit uint 8. It will have till 8 bit. If it is having this 256, it will accept until the 256 bit. So this is what, like same as a unit, how we have the different unit, same like that we will have this. One special which we have, that is address byte 32, sorry, bytes 32, that will have for the addresses. These are like basic concepts from this Solidity which we have. Let's try it further. Cryptographic function, once you try it, because it should work. As the function is simple, like we have this yes, you can add, you can access the addresses. You can access the address of the array and you can add. How we have the concept of array, you can add. Means first of all, you can declare the array, and then as many elements you want, you can add it. Means depends on the size. You can add the new element, and the the type of array is defined. The same type of value you can add. Do you have the idea of enum and struct? We have the enum, we have the struct. Like in the enum, we have the fixed values. Let's say like we have like fixed values such as let's color like red, blue, green. Like we have the fixed values in the enum. But while in the case of struct, we can assign the value and we can use the value. Like we have one difference between the struct. Like these both are the data type. This all both are like here. That's now being seen. This one user defined. So user defined is having one is the structure and one is the this one enum. Union is not here. So one is the struct and one is the enum. So main difference between the struct and enum is enum will have some fixed values, which like let's say for color, what's this returning of the fixed values, but the structure will will have the collection of some of the data types. Like when we have the collection of different data types, we can use this struct. And when we are having this enum, it will have the fixed values. As I said, the color, let's say we have the number of colors and you want to access it in different point in the program. So we can have the fixed value of fixed value collection, that is the enum. And we have the variable values, that and we have the struct. Say enumeration and the fixed value, whatever the values are there, they are the enums. Simply. Is it clear, Avinash? Enum and struct variables, and we will assign the value and we will use the value. It is having the one of the structure. Similar the concept of class. This is the JavaScript. So here we are using the structure. Try these 4 functions once. Because in my it's not working, but here it should work because it is having the return type as bytes 32, and it should work like this. Bytes memory is there. It should work. Once try this. Apart from this, we have the string as well. We have the Boolean as well. So depends on the requirement, it will be required. Once let's see the contract, like existing contract, so that we can understand what are the common things or what are the required things which are common in other programming languages. So by default, it provides some of the contract to us. One is the storage. Yes, that's yesterday. Yes. This is for the setter method, and this is the getter method that we are retrieving the data, we are inserting the data, and these two are giving us the buttons. Then again, we have one more. This is the honor. So here, if you see, there are some fixed things they have used. They have created they have used this access specifier as a private, means it will be accessing within the contract. Within the contract, why? Because it is the state one. So state variable. So that's why it will be accessing within the contract. And this is fine. Let it be event. We will read it. Event is simply we can print the events on this particular log. We can print the event. This is event for the EVM logging. In case there is some addresses, things we want to print. So this is how we have log in Android. How we have some console commands to print some execution process. So that's how we have the event here. Then again, the function, they have created the function. Then one constructor they have created. This is here. They have used this global variable. Global variable is used. So it depends when it will have. We are trying to do the fixed values are there in the enum. While in the struct, we have this. We have the group of values. Let's say maybe giving This is how we can declare one enum and we can have one struct. Then again further with the help of dot, we can use this enum and structure. So some basic concepts we have in the Solidity, that we can use the variables, we can use the function, we can use the pure function, we can use this view type of function, we can also use this enum, we can also use the struct. So here the fixed type, fixed values, and here we can have the variable data in the struct. So once you can try this. So further apart from this, in order to deploy these things, yesterday I told you that we need to have one Linux in our system, because here these are all of the basic concepts. Then again further, in case like as how we have the core concepts in any of the language, this we have. Now directly we need to work with the contracts, we need to take some of the use case, any of the small use case, and then we need to execute it. In order to see the transaction, we require some local host, because we can't spend the ethers. So here just once you install this Ubuntu, in the Ubuntu, we should have the npm. npm I have this version. Okay, I installed this. So what we are trying is, we are trying to have our Solidity in our local platform. So first is you require the Node.js. In order to have the Node.js, you need to have some commands. Sudo apt-get, just do this install Node.js one. The one is you require is npm. It will take some time. Because at the moment, what we can do is, we can parallelly, you can also do this one. You can also just open your system and you can start this installation Node.js and npm. Then further we'll have one more software solution, this Solidity we need to have. We are just trying if we can get the successful installation of this Node.js and npm so that we can run the local host and we can see the actual transaction how it happens, because currently we can make some program, but again the output need to be checked. I run these two commands on the Linux. We are trying to install the Solidity compiler in our system. Further, once this npm command will work, then we'll have this npm. Then we need to install the our globally accepted. This G is the globally accessible Solidity compiler. We need to have this one.
Sir, you are not audible.
We have not come up with this Pi network. We will be having this in the Web3. When we will be connecting, well, we'll be doing this local connection. Like we'll be using some of the tools that we'll be using this Pi. Like we can create our own node. Like our system is a node with this machine. So in the Linux. So here we can create this node. Your question is, can I explain the Pi network node? Yes, Pi network node is like we can create our own node when we are creating our own node into the network with the blockchain. So that is the Pi network node. Look this done, and we have one more this command, and we can install Solidity. And we have not found, but it's I think it's not installed properly and able to fetch some of the archive. Permission denied. Okay, it may be some permission issue or some window dependency issue.
सर नथिंग समझ में आई.
Okay, there is some security patch or some issue which is it's not finding. Maybe some IP issue. Due to that, it's unable to install. And this the platform we have, the Zoom, it will run onto this Linux machine also, because I am having the Linux machine also ready with me, so I can connect that Linux machine. Because it maybe there are some dependency with this, so I'm having one Linux machine also with me. So either I can create and I can do the fresh installation in that. This Avinash means we are trying to install this Indian Ganach only because we want to run this into the local host. So when you want to try your own running your own blockchain, then you require this Ganach. So we have this Ganach also. It will be distributed as a node. Ultimately, we require the Ganach. In the end, once this npm will install, we will have one command that is npm. We need to install the Ganach globally. We need to have this Ganach CLI. So this is also we need to install. Once this npm install, npm command is currently here. It's not working. We'll be creating the local variable. There we'll have the Ganesh. Okay, so upgrade is done. We can upgrade also that once. So get upgrade. And the setup is like not one time is possible to like easily. Means maybe there are some window dependency, maybe there are some OS dependency. So yes, you will get difficulty first time to install it. So once you try to follow these commands, if it get installed, otherwise I can have the like pre-installed system. But I'm trying if you can also install this. We need the Node.js npm the Solidity compiler. We need this Ganesh CLI. Once this will be done, you can check this version. So in order to have the version, you can write this node version. You will be able to see the version. We need the latest version, And when this npm install, you need to have this npm version. You can see the version for this also. So we need this command to be executed successfully. This should display the version of npm, and this should display this version of node.js. If it won't work, sometime you need to install one more thing, that is curl. We have to get the data, get the repository from the internet. So if it's not, then once try with curl. If curl is not available, then you need to install this curl also. You need to install this as well. Just the command which I'm showing you, this we need the successful installation of this. One more is there. If it get installed today, fine. Otherwise, you try to execute this command and try to install. I'll get ready one system with all this command installation. Once you will get this Ganage, then finally you need to have this. There will be command sudo npm. We need to install this globally. Ethereum. And in order to have this, we have the test RPC. Finally we want this one, and with this we can emulate this one, test RPC. If you want, you can read this about test RPC. Finally, we need this is the test RPC for our local testing of this Ethereum. Yeah, the test RPC. This is the fast and customizable blockchain emulator. We want to simulate this blockchain. We want to see this. So finally, that's why we are doing this much of commands. we require finally is this Ethereum RPC. Yeah, this is what the command we are trying. Yes, we need to try finally. Once this will be done, then we will have this our own accounts, some of the private keys. This is what in the Ganage also, like the Ganage will have this. So Ganage and test RPC. Test RPC is finally for the testing. Ganage is still Ganage. We will get a lot. So once you just try to get this command executed. I'm just giving in the chat also. Once this command will execute, these are the commands. Yes, ma'am. Just I'm ending it in 5 minutes. I'm trying if it get installed here. Okay, this is done. There is something is again failed. Okay. Okay, I'll make one machine ready. If once you try with this, I'll share one installation video also. These commands, working with this command. So once we will get ready with this test RPC, then what we'll have is we will have finally this available account in our local machine. So this is what we want at the moment. Then in the local host, we will have this some of the port number. Let's say here they are having the 8585. So we will be able to see one window. Test RPC window will be have, and we will be able to see how we can visualize actually the transactions. So finally, the requirement is this test RPC. So I request you all the people, once you try to install, try to follow this step. These are the steps, and try to get install or run with this test RPC. Finally, we'll have this local host. It will install on 8585 port. So it should able to run. When it will able to run, then you will able to see one front end. Here we have the front end. What is there? One sample wallet will be created. Backend is again it's not required. They have not given any screenshot. They have given for the mobile some Ethereum. You will be able to see like this is on the mobile. You will be able to have one kind of this kind of window, one of the dummy window. So on dummy window, you will be able to see the wallet. You will be able to see the transaction. So in the end, what we want to do is we want to see this transaction. So there will be the window. It's not like this. It will not be like this. It will be like this. That you will be able to see your balance, you will able to do the transaction will be visible on the screen. So that's what all we will be able to do with this test RPC. So all of you, once you try to install this. If not, then I'll make one machine ready with me for all the with all this installation, so that I can show you the window with me. I'll also try to take the screenshot step by step of the successful installation, so that you can also try with your system. Okay, so I'll continue with this with the successful installation, and we can see the test RPC with the local host, because it's better to see the real actual test cases.